let me give y'all a forewarning right now that this video is probably going to have a lot of cursing in it. And if you have any small children around, you may want to have them leave the room, because I'm not going to hold back in my commentary that I'm giving to you right now. I also don't know what the length of this video is going to be, but I don't think it's going to be less than 10 minutes. So you might as well kick back, relax, because we're going to be here a while. But first, before I get started, I have to give a shout out to Quest X Boxing, because he actually did a video briefly talking about what I'm getting ready to talk about right now. And that's actually what prompted me to want to make this video. Also, with the contents of what I found in the article I'm going to read, and which I'm going to break down, made me want to talk about it as well. But before I get started, let me preface this by saying, fuck you, Donna Lemonade. Yes, I'm back on calling his ass Donna, because this shit right here is goddamn ridiculous with what he's done now. So if y'all don't remember, well, we can bypass it a little bit. We already know about Kevin Hart and the whole tweets, and you know him saying he doesn't want to do the Oscars and all of this, that, and the third. And you know, Donna came out a couple months ago, like after that happened, and said if he would like to come onto his show to discuss this and, you know, possibly become an ally for the LGBT community, he can do so. And I made a video saying, Kevin, don't do it. It's a trick. It is a goddamn trick. And I'm glad that he didn't do it. I don't know if he saw my video, or people probably told him don't go on there, but Donna is one shady ass individual. He's a very messy person. He's not to be trusted. And when I read this article, you're really going to understand it. Now, you're probably wondering why there's also a picture of Ellen there. Well, recently, and when I say recently, I probably mean within the last day or so, Kevin Hart was a guest on Ellen's show. And they were discussing, you know, the whole tweets and everything like that. And see, Ellen is more of a, I guess you could say, a understanding type of person. Those of you who watch her know her personality. And, you know, Kevin was probably able to open up more to her than he would be to Donna. And I can understand why. It has nothing to do with the fact that she's a white woman who happens to be a lesbian, and that Donna happens to be a black man who happens to be gay. You just have to look at the history of the stuff that Donna has said about black people in particular, and his constant throwing of black people under the bus, especially heterosexual black men over the years. I will never forget what he did when he went to Ferguson, but we're not going to touch on that. So Kevin Hart went on to Ellen's show to discuss this, and Ellen said, you know what, Kevin, you might want to reconsider hosting the Oscars, because you would be a perfect candidate for it. And you know, her being a gay white woman, a lesbian, you know, they thought that, you know, she would feel some type of way about the stuff that he said. But you know what, she said she was not offended with what he said. And she said, you know what, if I have to, I could put a call in to the people over at the Academy to see if they would, you know, give you a shot. Now, Academy did not, excuse me, drop Kevin from hosting. Kevin stepped down because he didn't want the backlash. So he said, you know what, to avoid being a distraction, I will not do it. So in that way, in a way, it was very noble of him to do that. So she was like, you know what, I have to put in a call to have you host again. I'll do it. Because, you know, she's hosted the Oscars 2 times. So she knows some people may be able to pull some strings. Because as of right now, that the Oscars still currently does not have a host. Kevin Hart was like the one that they really wanted. And I think I know why they did it, because they needed the views. So that happened. Then in comes messy ass Donna, in which I'm going to read this article coming from therap.com. And I had time to skim through half of this article. I didn't even get to the whole thing because I was getting too pissed off with some of the shit that he was, well, not even some, a lot of the shit that he was saying. But let's get into it. It says Donna urges Kevin Hart to do more to make things right with the LGBT community. In a frank and emotional statement during his CNN show Friday night, Donna called out Kevin Hart for what Lemon said is a highly inadequate response to the outrage over his homophobic jokes and comments, and called on Hart to do more to be an ally to the LGBT community. This goes back to what I was saying when I said Kevin don't go on his show because it's a trick. This is the thing that a lot of people have with the LGBT community, and we can focus on the black ones right now since Donna seems to be the spokesperson for that. A lot of them like to use bullying tactics. You will find that by the end of this article, this was nothing but one big bullying tactic, and they are just clearly upset. And Donna is upset over absolutely nothing. He says Lemon was responding to Hart's interview with Ellen DeGeneres on her syndicated show Friday. During the interview, DeGeneres said she told the Academy she still wants Hart to host the Oscars, and Hart indicated he might be willing to do it. The topic, Lemon said, is important to the LGBT community and it's important to the black community, and I'm a proud member of both, so I feel obligated to speak out on the issue. Let me stop right there. Did anyone catch what was just said? Let me say it again. It is important to the LGBT community and it is important to the black community, and I am a proud member of both. What did Donna just do in that instance? He did exactly what I knew he would do. He put his lifestyle, his sexual orientation above his race. He said in essence, he said that he's a gay man first, black man second, and then tried to phrase it that he's a proud member of both communities. To Donna and to anybody who is out there who's black and part of that community, you will always be black first, despite what you believe in your head. When these racists and these bigots out here do the shit that they do, they don't see you for you being whatever lifestyle you choose to lead. You will always be seen by your skin color first. That's one reason why a lot of black people cannot trust a lot of people in the gay community. It's not that they don't want to, it's because when you say stuff like this, we know what foot you're gonna lead with first. So he says, so he feels obligated to speak out on this issue. You don't have to be obligated to speak out on anything, Donna. You just threw your hat in the ring. You just threw that into the ring because you had nothing else to talk about. He goes on to say, for many in the gay community, but especially in the black community, the Twitter apologies and explanation on Ellen have fallen flat. To many, it seems he has somehow turned himself into a victim, instead of acknowledging the real victims of violent and sometimes deadly homophobia. This goes back to when I did that video talking about how it was a trick. I said, Kevin, they want him to grovel. They want him to crawl on all fours and beg for forgiveness. Kevin Hart has already apologized. We all saw the video when he said he apologized. We said he shouldn't have apologized since he already apologized once. But now they want him to keep apologizing over and over again. And when I was looking through some of the pages, that damn George M. Johnson, I swear that is one of the biggest trolls on fucking Twitter. If y'all ever remember, I did a video concerning him and some stuff that he said, and then it was like a violent style video that I did as well, because he's one of the people them blue check Negroes that they talk about, where Twitter just gives out a blue check to anybody because they have a certain talking point who don't deserve it. And he just going around parading everything and just trolling people and all types of shit. I saw him all up in Tariq's mentions yesterday. The shit is ridiculous. But it's the fact that Kevin Hart is not apologizing in the way they want him to. It's almost like they want to be the puppet master and they want Kevin to be the puppet, and Kevin is not doing it. He said what he said and he meant what he said, and I'm glad that Kevin is standing firmly on his square. But I think this also leads to another point, but I'm going to touch on that towards the end of the article. Lemon then addressed Hart directly. Kevin, if anything, this is the time to hear other people out, to understand why they might have been offended. Maybe you do it privately, and if you do, then I congratulate you. But nothing that you have spoken of, and now you want the conversation to end. Walking away right now, that is your choice. But many of us need to keep the conversation going. Is life or death? That one part, not the life or death part, but the keep the conversation going. No, Donna, you want to keep the goddamn drama going. I swear that a lot of people in that community over there love and feed off of drama. Y'all should see some of the comments that people left when this went out, especially from people who are black or gay and lesbian who agreeing with this. They love to see drama continue to keep going. It's not about keeping the conversation going. It's about keeping the drama going. Lemon said that Hart, who has one of the, now this part right here really got me, who has one of the biggest megaphones in the entire world, could actually be the ultimate change agent if he would address the matter directly. He can help change the homophobia in the black community, something Kevin's old Twitter jokes address but in the wrong way. First, let me talk about the ultimate change agent part. He wants to use Kevin Hart's worldwide popularity in order for them to change the scope of how people talk about people in that community. The people in the LGBT community represent a very small percentage, and that's for everyone, no matter if they're black, white, whatever. And it was because of former President Barack Obama that they got many of those rights today in the establishment, like the right to get married. Hell, they even lit up the White House in the rainbow colors, and they also did it for various other monuments around the world. Barack Obama did that. And they still want more. They are more socially accepted now than they were 10, well, maybe 20 years ago. But that's not enough for them. Like someone said, they're clout chasing, so he wants to hang off of Kevin Hart's popularity in order to get that. The next one, where he said, oh, where is it at? He said, he can help change the homophobia in the black community. Something, okay. Is that now it's going back to the whole thing about black people being the most homophobic. That is very asinine to say, because black people aren't the one putting policies in place that are stopping you from doing whatever it is that you want to do. Recently, your current president, 45, wanted to have a military ban to keep transgenders out of the goddamn military. I don't know if they overturned it, but that was something that actually went into effect under the Obama administration, and now Trump wants to overturn it. But you don't call him out. Or how about a couple years ago when the All-Star game was supposed to be in Charlotte, and they decided that, that was around the time when they were trying to do that gender neutral or that whatever, that the bathroom situation, I'll call it that. And the people on that board were all white. I doubt it was a black person on the board deciding anything that day. They got it moved to another location. I think the All-Star game is back in Charlotte this year since that incident. But you didn't hear anything from him about that. But as soon as Kevin Hart has some tweets that are 10 now, almost 11 years old almost, now it's a problem. And all of that stuff that I'm talking about before this happened within the last 5 years. See, it's this selective outrage. They're going after Kevin Hart because they feel he's a softer target because he's black. I see right through it. He said, he said, this is basically a reference to the tweet that he was talking about with his son. He said, those views of the LGBT people in the black community have consequences, Lemon said, citing statistics say 44% of homeless gay youth are black and 62% of homeless transgender youth are black. Those kids were likely kicked out of their homes or had to run away because of who they are and because of how our community treats them. And we have to talk about outreach. See, the only time Donna cares about black people is when they're gay, as you can clearly tell. He was able to pull up stats about black gay youth being homeless and kicked out of their homes, but he can't talk about anybody else who was black unless they're gay. This goes back to the point where I was saying how Donna puts his sexual orientation before his blackness, but then tries to mesh them back together. He says, Lemon also discussed the generous Ellen, a trailblazer and respected leader in the LGBT community. She really is. She almost lost her entire career for coming out, for being a trailblazer, for doing it first. She gave Kevin the opportunity to tell his story on her show. That is an olive branch if I've ever seen one. However, she says that she forgives Kevin and that he should host the Oscars, but honestly, Ellen doesn't speak for the whole community. So apparently, Donna, you must speak for the whole community then. That lets you know right there that that Donna wasn't even focused on the whole community. He was only focused on the black part of it. And I'm gonna tell you this right now. I was gonna wait to the end, but I'll say it now. I think the real reason that Donna tone has switched up on this situation is because Kevin went to Ellen's show before going to his, and Donna extended his olive branch out before she did. Like I said, Kevin knew that it was a trick going on to his show. That's why he didn't do it. And his people probably told him not to do it because they know that Donna is a fucking turncoat. He's a traitor. He hides behind his lifestyle. He hides behind that desk. He hides behind trying to be this professional person. He's not to be trusted. And I think Kevin knows that. Lemon said that he doesn't understand the generous perspective, and if he were called out for not understanding what it's like to be a white lesbian, he would listen. So I'm saying these issues need to be addressed, especially when it comes to gay black youth in our country, because they need to know that they have value and it's okay to be who they are. See, now I think he's putting this stuff out there because I think he's trying to find himself a spot onto Ellen's show so he could talk to her. And another reason I said is because when I was looking through the comments, they were saying, people was writing to Ellen saying, Ellen, you know, it's good that you have all these people on your show, but do you think that you can have some black trans or some black gays on your show and stuff like that? I see what they're trying to do. Lemon concluded by once again appealing personally to Hart. We in the African American community have to stop low-key co-signing homophobia. And we're back on that again. We won't tolerate jokes that tell those youth otherwise. We need to talk about how people who may have messed up and become allies as well, because apologizing and moving on does not make the world a better place for people who are gay or people who are transgender. Being an ally does. So Kevin, no one is against you. That's a damn lie, Donna. You are against them. No one said that you should be fired or any of that. What they want for you is to bring light to this, to be an ally. So it is your chance to do the right thing and possibly save lives. After hearing all of this, I have to ask Donna one question. Donna, where was all this outrage when Amy Schumer, Sarah Silverman, and Chelsea Handler made jokes? And their jokes were more recent than Kevin's. And their stuff was a little bit more vile than what Kevin said. And he said absolutely nothing and still hasn't said anything when it pertains to them. This is what I'm talking about, the selective outrage that this Donna has about anything. I'm so over this shit. But you know what? Maybe karma will work her magic. And this will be the year that Donna gets his wake-up call. We can only hope. But y'all let me know what you think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. The links will be in the description. I will talk to you in the next one.